Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Hello. Welcome back to the Off the Record DJ podcast. We've forgotten what to do. We've not.
I know. No guests.
We was in a rhythm at one point, weren't we?
Yeah, we're out of
week
that.
in, week out. And now guests are involved. We never know what's going on. Plus, when you record something with a guest and it don't come out for 3 weeks. So you're like, when did that come? Should we talk about it or not? Last week was Sabian, who went on tour with James Hype after learning to DJ across Crossfader 2 years before.
There's some great stories
Cool
coming
story.
out. I'm loving
There
these
is,
stories.
And then, just to give you a little bit behind the scenes, we are talking to a lot of agencies are reaching out now and wanting to put their big artists on this podcast. And that is all from, obviously, you guys listening and paying attention every week and building this up as a pretty decent sized platform now. It's incredible. There was a stat the other day where YouTube is now the most listened to platform for podcasts.
Yeah. Which ties into why we created the whole new channel. And
Exactly, yeah. And that goes for audio and video. So more people are listening and watching podcasts on YouTube. So it was a great decision. When was it? Late last year to sort of start over again. So
But we still want to have podcasts just like this where the three of us sit and chat and just deliver some of our knowledge as the resident DJs, as the working DJs that do the graveyard shifts and everything else. Because it's great to hear from the big artists and we're not going to stop that. That's only going to ramp up and there's some great artists in the pipeline, aren't there? Some big household names.
Big uns.
But, I still love doing it. But, I get to get back on the podcast. Danny gets to jump on the podcast, share some wisdom.
And this episode is like a throwback to when we started the podcast. This is like a how-to guide. This is like educational, step-by-step, fundamental stuff that's been taken from our discussions with the big artists and how they got there and stuff. But this is fundamentally we're going to build out a sort of 60-day plan to build your audience. We talked about a few weeks ago, I think we were, a lot of, everyone but DJs in general, January hits. Yeah. And it's I'm going to be
the best
David Guetta by the end of the year. So I'm going to post every day and I'm going to, just go crazy on content and networking. And then 1st of February comes. Yeah.
So this is why
you're in the same place.
Why 60 days?
Because I feel like it's an achievable. I feel like, first of all, a lot can happen in 60 days, right? And we can talk about day 90 as well afterwards. But I feel like this is what I mean. When you get to January, it's I've done all the things I said I was going to do, and nothing's really happening. Yeah. And I think that's where I imagine 70% of people stop and go, no, it's happening. I've tried. What else can I do? But if you haven't even started there yet, and you just want to build an audience, a lot of DJs have decent residencies and stuff, but don't have an audience, which is fine. But it gets to a point where you're maybe let's just see what happens. And them DJs, they tend to break out, don't they? Them ones who are good resident DJs who then decide to go, actually, I'm a good DJ, why don't I just show people online I'm a good DJ? Yeah. They're the ones that are now doing big shows abroad and stuff. So we'll talk about that. Let's just break back to we launched our new channel last week, and we've not really had the chance to talk about it. We said we were going to do it, and we did do it. Which is it's rare that we talk about.
No, we planned this channel live on air in the middle of a podcast. I was like, should we just chat about an idea I've had? And then we just started chatting about that idea. It was just us two on the podcast. This was sometime the end of last year. Yeah. Then we looked at the comments. Everyone was like, I think that's a great idea. So it really was born out of the fact that an idea came to me live on air. The people that were listening commented and supported that idea.
Even further back, right? We've been doing add to playlist.
Yeah.
And we've we've realized we were finding tunes to play on this, and we're like, fuck, this is a tune. Oh, this is amazing. And it's well, what else? And then everyone's like, track ID. Yeah. Track ID. So we're like, well, we can't just do a whole track ID. Maybe we could. A whole track ID podcast. So it's literally born from this podcast, which is a beautiful full circle thing. Yeah. And it's called Office Hours. The the theory behind it was that we get to DJ in office hours and rediscover or discover a love for music again. Not that we lost it.
No.
But I guess
we really enjoy that segment.
You guys don't DJ.
Yeah.
You guys don't DJ, so you don't get that feeling anymore.
Yeah.
So it's that as well, and then I guess just putting it to the audience, and then it's also giving value in that we are searching for the tracks. And
and then providing those track IDs.
Yeah, and if you listen every week, you got yours came out last week. Yours is vibey R&B edits, 90s, 2000s, like soul action.
It's very
put it on while you're making
vibe.
a coffee or cleaning the house on a Sunday.
It's a full hour long. The idea as well is to not be too crazy with the mixing. It's you're not going there to learn new techniques necessarily. You're going there to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yes, you can watch and follow along and maybe pick up some techniques, but it's not us trying to push controllers to the limits. Or it's allowing us to
because
dig into different bits of gear as well. You know, we're going to pull
100%,
out some turntables. We're going to pull out maybe some of the gear that we don't feature as often. So, you know, there'll be some tractor gear featuring more and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
I'm doing a vinyl mix. 100%.
No, I'm doing a vinyl mix. Definitely doing a vinyl mix.
Me.
Because there's nothing harder than when we'll get a new piece of equipment. We've got to do like the performance mix on it, and it is not fun. It is 20 takes. It's like 89 different button
How do
pressing.
I show all of these different features?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
It's not that. It is not that. It is just music and stuff. So yeah, it's called Office Hours. I'll leave some links and stuff, but I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube if you look for it.
And personally, I'm hoping this evolves and you're going to start seeing different locations in
Yeah,
our
you want to
area,
do
some cool
locations.
venues in
Yeah.
our area. We're going to take it out of the studio and go
Guests.
into other people's office hours, and we're going to, you know, show what their offices look like. It doesn't need to be a typical office. You know, we've got some things in mind that isn't, you know, it's not just us going to some other office block. You know? It's just cool places during their office hours.
And I think it lends itself well to guests as well.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of, you know, podcast people coming in, and we can now pitch to them, being like, look, we've got a music channel, do a mix for us. So let's see what happens. By the time this is out, mine will be out as well. Mine's like house club edits, SoundCloud, and a lot of me in there as well. I love hip hop, I love R&B, so there's a lot of like R&B hip hop edits within it. Like I say, all the track lists
on a housey flex.
on a housey vibes, stuff that I would listen to like in the car that I play out a lot. That, you know, not too late in your face or anything like that. So yeah, enjoy. Should be out now. Okay, like let's get into the main topic of today. Then we're sort of building out a 60-day. We might extend it and go 90 days, but a plan to build your audience instead of just sort of having no strategy and just sort of putting out loads of content and then seeing what happens. I think there's a lot to be said for like strategy. We put an email out saying, you know, somebody said on the podcast, it might have been James or Rewire or something, that like DJ now is like 20% DJ and 8% marketing. People hate that, and that's why I guess we've started a new channel, because we want to be about music. But it's like, you know, love it or hate it or get on board kind of thing. You've got 3 options. So I guess if you're just starting out and you're starting out as a DJ, or you are one of them resident DJs who you're sweet on gigs, but you want to start building a profile, like day one is like pick your platforms, and we would suggest TikTok and Instagram. And if you're going to go on YouTube, just shorts, like just keep it simple, because you don't want to do too much at once. You just want to focus on like one style of media. Yeah. So like short form media, short form clips, that's what you want to get started with. And then you want to set up your profiles. So set up all your DJ handles, write in a bio of like what you are. It will kind of do wonders for you, because it will just like focus your mind into like, what is this page about when I land on it? Yeah. Like it's really good when I land on it. Somebody just says techno DJ, you know, LA. I'm like, sweet. Yeah. I know what I'm getting. Do you know what I mean? I think
don't overthink it. Yeah, it doesn't need to be long.
We talked about, I think last time, like this is the time to be niche. Like just whatever you like, and that's fine now, because
and lean into those that personality and little personality quirks and traits that you have that you think you can attach to DJing.
Yeah. Danny James, bass music, cat lover.
Yep.
Dad.
Fine.
I'm like, I like this guy.
I understand you as a person. That's what you want.
Summed up. 3 words.
I like this guy. And then what you're going to do is you're going to film your first pieces of content. So I will give you some ideas on what that is, because it's like, what do I even do? So your first 5 pieces of ideas should be very low lift. Your phone, some internal audio if you have it, but just your phone will do for now. And the 5 pieces of ideas will be, first of all, be like a quick introduction that you pin to the top of your profile, especially on Instagram. Yeah. Like who you are. So I mean, like Danny James, bass music, drum and bass, whatever it is. That tells like a bit of a story about you. See, you are a resident DJ. Like tell us a bit about your story. Like where have you played at? Who have you played for? Who have you supported? Like use some like B-roll clips of like you in a club somewhere. What is that noise behind me, by the way? Can you hear that?
Nice.
Is it
construction?
Like I can hear a fan. Sorry, there is some construction. And tell a bit of a story about yourself. It's like a good thing for you to be like, because people don't really like talking about themselves.
No.
And it might be hard to do that. But if you have a bit of a story, people like buy into people who have stories.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. People think, oh yeah, who would care? I DJ in this local bar or restaurant. It's like people want to know like who you are, especially if your goal is to get booked at bars and restaurants. And it's like, oh, by the way, I played at all the best restaurants in San Diego or whatever. It's like,
plus, people have to see the journey as well. Like if you followed you from being a local resident and then they see you blow up, it's like, oh, I've known him from whenever.
Or on the flip side, if you just got your first controller, it's like day one learning to DJ. People love to follow a little story.
That's a story arc.
It's a story arc. Like, I've just started to DJ. I've just like quit my job. I've just lost my job, quit my job or whatever, moved to a new apartment or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give this a full 100%. People fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
I think it leans into this. DJing more than ever, like we're saying, is about marketing, but it's personal brand, isn't it? You've got to think about personal branding, and we see it in so many different people exploring different industries around the world. There's personal brands that are popping up, and it started with the typical influencer, but that's evolved now into just anyone can create their own personal brand, and that leans back to story, and like your personal brand doesn't always even have to be 100% DJ related, like you're saying about DJ Cat Lover, this or the other. That paints a picture of who you are. We talked about Fish 56 Octagon, him blowing up.
Definitely.
But his personal brand is in a dressing gown. That's he eats Weetabix. I know these things because he's and that's become
the guy
a thing.
that eats Weetabix. It's like
while he DJs. So suddenly that now means I can say, remember that you can say to your mates that guy that stands in his dressing gown spinning tunes. You don't even know his name, but that's his brand, right? That's his brand. So think about what makes you you. Put yourself in your situation, your location that you're comfortable with, that you're happy, that shows a bit about who you are. There might be people that love interior design and the house looks immaculate.
Yeah, I love watching them videos.
Capture that, put your DJ setup in that beautiful environment. Or maybe you're not. Maybe your bedroom's an absolute tip. And that's kind of person you are. But make it, so that you embrace the mess. And it's like, look at that DJ in the middle of this absolute chaotic bedroom. But there's some aesthetic to that. And then people go, oh, have you seen the DJ, that really mad, messy bedroom? Or the one that's got that cyberpunk stuff on the walls. Use all the other stuff around you to make that personal brand beyond just, because then you can attach the music in there. You attach the style of the video and the editing if you go that far. But just think about your environment as well, that you're going to be capturing this footage, because once you start doing, as you're going to get onto, multiple versions of this, 10 videos all in that same environment, it builds that personal brand.
We have come a long way from trying to make everything look perfect, haven't we? Like when we were DJing a lot and making our reels and stuff, it would always be like booking a guy who's got a camera in a club,
very polished,
making it fully edited, and then everything on your story would be like, I'm doing this massive gig this week, big things coming, like like it would be like you all just like a bit of a bravado kind of thing, whereas people really like vulnerability now, and like stuff not going well, and then stuff's been a bit difficult, and then actually you killed it this weekend, and like people want to follow along with that a little bit more, whereas before it was like, let me just show you the good stuff. And then what you're going to do, you're going to obviously film bits of your DJing, which will be like short clips, like short mix transitions. Like, do not overthink this process. Like, literally, if you're giving someone the track list from a mix, you're not even mixing, right? You just say you've downloaded a track, you like it, you film it on your decks, you just give them the track title, that is a piece of content, something you can regurgitate over and over again. Then you might do a bit of a skill on the next post, like a DJ trick or something, like a bit of a looping technique. Or,
do you know what? For these beginner DJs out there that think, oh, but I'm not talented enough yet, I can't do all these crazy skills. I'm just starting my journey. There's ways to kind of get around this. So you can just film yourself doing a really basic transition. You're working really hard. It's really long and slow blend, and you might think that's boring to watch. But then think about, well, what can I add to that video to make it engaging to the viewer? And you could literally put the captions popping up over the video saying, "I didn't think this transition was going to work. I spent hours trying different tracks, but wait and listen." And
what you're thinking about? What you're thinking about?
Exactly. And you could kind of paint the picture of, I'm at this point in my journey that I didn't think this was going to work, but just keep listening, and just those types of that type of wording popping up on the video will allow people to engage with the video beyond just being expected to understand what that video is about. So you don't have to be super creative all the time, but think about how you can add that creativity in with the text that's popping up. Sure. Make even that a story, that piece of content, that one transition. It has a story behind it. Like, how did you come up with it? Why does it work? Why do you like it? build that into the captions that pop up, and that's probably good for beginner DJs that are a bit worried about, I see all these talented DJs doing mad stuff on TikTok and Instagram. I can't do that yet, so I can't make content. Actually, you can. It's just approach it in a different way.
Yeah, like emotion on screen. I like the ones that are in like clubs of DJs, and it like will zoom in on a crowd member's face while it drops, and it's just classing it. Like, oh shit, I love the videos. And then I think we touched on it, but then you're going to sort of film. So you've got your introduction, you've got a clip of you. Of just maybe a track or something. You've got a bit of a trick. Maybe you've just learned how to loop, or you, like Jamie mentioned there, a transition has just come off for you, and you're sort of talking the audience through what your mindset was at the time. Then a bit of a behind the scenes look, and so this might be like, say you might have just got a new controller, might have a look at your setup. Again, maybe the surroundings you're in, wherever you're filming, something like that. And then maybe something along more DJing, which is like a mashup or something that you've made that you might want to like record and like maybe give away or something like that, just as a bit more of an engagement. So they're your sort of 5 I guess like pillars, right? So like a bit about you, some clips on you DJing, transitions, some tricks behind the scenes, and then maybe something that you can like, give to your audience.
So do you say this is week 1?
So this is like I would say like honestly like day 1, whether you're filming these pieces of content, like this is like the idea generation. So you're setting up your profiles, you commit into like let's say it's Instagram and TikTok. You commit to them, you're setting up your profile,
open your notes app and write down the ideas.
Open your notes up and just write out these ideas on day 1.
That's easy enough to do in one day, right?
I think so, because what you'll do then is you'll write out, say you've got your pillars, right? A bit about me, a mix, a transition, giving them giving value or whatever. Then underneath them columns, you can start to like write out the next 30 days, because this is just rinse and repeat, right? There's nothing else in the next 30 days that you're going to do. You're just going to film these types of content
over and over
again for 30 days basically. And if you think about, you've got 5 different things there, that's 5 different videos, and if you commit to posting 5 times a week, you only need to make another 20 of them, and you've got basically a month already filled. And then what I want you to do is get into the habit of engaging with other people, because it'll get to a point where you'll start getting engagement from people, right? And then if you don't engage back, they'll just sort of forget about you. You want to create a community early on of people who have similar interests, who are into what you're into, and then even just beyond that, like people who you enjoy. Because if you comment on a DJ's post, and I know you're a DJ, I'll probably check out your profile. And if you started to upload and stuff, and you've got some cool mixes on there, I'll start to engage with you back. So I think it's an overlooked thing where people will go, well, just put out loads of content and I'll be famous. It's not really like that. We've got in our like scoreboard, what we keep as a company, we have like a set number of comments that we have to reply to like every week, even at sort of our sort of scale. So that's like your day 1 to like day 30, rinse and repeat of that sort of consistency. And
what do we think about like batching this content? So would you choose one of those overarching themes? So I'm going to do
a transition.
Transitions. Am I just going to spend a day? I'm going to plan as many transitions as I can, then spend a day filming all those transitions.
Yeah, I would.
If it takes another day to edit all of them and schedule them, like batch them like that, rather than film, then edit, then schedule, then go back to filming again.
No, I would split out days, because you're in different headspaces, different times. When you're filming, you're in a filming headspace. I don't want you to worry about editing. What's it going to look like? What's the caption going to be? If you're filming a mix of transitions, just be in that space and film as many sort of different transitions or behind the scene or stories or something. Write down some like stories. Just be in the headspace for the day, and then go away, sleep, and then the next day you're like, okay, I'm going to edit what I filmed yesterday, because you're in that like mindset. You're in that editing mindset, especially if you're not like used to doing like this kind of thing. If you are quite good at it, then you can sort of do it maybe in a full day. But if you're not used to doing this sort of volume, then I would just split out your days into like filming, editing, posting, like that basically.
What tools do people need to learn? What would you recommend? Do they use CapCut? Do they use iMovie or whatever? What would you recommend?
I would recommend trying to use the inbuilt apps of the platforms. So if you're just using TikTok and Instagram, you might have to do them twice, but I would just get used to how they operate and how they work, because there's a lot of good tools in there that you'll find that'll help you with engagement. TikTok want you to post good content, so you'll just be able to like figure it out easily. And then even if you'd like you do it inside of Instagram and upload it. You can always like download a video and post it on TikTok or something like that.
Yeah.
But
and you can draft, can't you, in these platforms?
Loads,
So like we do that. We sort of like edit loads of stuff together, leave it in drafts, and then just have a push notification set up that basically goes, post this today, and reminds you. Like you know, you can set reminders even just on your phone.
And one thing to note as well, we'll like post a lot of drafts and stuff, but you sort of never know what's really going to do well. So let's say you've got a plan together, and then like day 29. You've realised that one of your TikToks went off. I would stop everything there and double down on what the type of content was.
Yeah,
right.
Do you know what I mean?
Now we're into like learning, analysing and learning from
this is what
we've done.
So let's get past like day 30. So you're going to rinse and repeat that process. And at this stage, you should have already built out some habits and sort of started to think about a content strategy a bit more. You've got your pillars of content that you're going to make. You've got used to the platforms, uploading, how to edit, how to film, what's working well, what's not. And then once you're in that sort of habit, you can then sort of think about how, like I said, about the strategy of like, okay, let me look at what's been done well, what has worked and what hasn't done well. And then you can like start to refine that process. And this will go on. This goes on forever, by the way. Like this is not like, you don't just crack it.
Yeah. I think
just like an iteration.
Goes back to one of the key points from this whole episode to take away is what you're trying to do is form new habits.
Yeah.
Rather than get an end goal.
Yeah.
You want to form a habit of how to create content, how to edit content, and how to deliver that content, and then how to engage with people. And those sort of pillars, it's how to form a habit so that you do that on a daily, weekly basis. I think by day 30 you should have a bit of a flow by then.
I think so, yeah.
And hopefully you've seen some progress and interaction. If you've made 20 videos, surely you're getting something back off those 20 videos by now.
I'm sure there's like science to like the 60 and 90 thing as well. Like, if like 60 or 90 days to break or make a habit, it's like it becomes, rather than something you feel like you have to do, it just becomes your daily routine sort of thing.
It's a good point to touch on. I think that one thing that stops habits is friction. So in any way possible, if you can have your setup at all times with like a tripod there, like on, ready to go, because you don't want to be like taking your controller out of the case and then going and finding a camera and then turning on the light all the time. Like if you can press one plug and have a tripod there, like you're in that zone already. You don't want to be like downstairs watching Netflix thinking about, I've got to like set up, it's going to take me 10 minutes to set up and like I don't know where the plug is and like whatever. That'll really help you get into the flow of this. And then what I want you to do from like day 30 to 60 is the same kind of stuff, but then there's other things you can do to add on to this as well. As like going live on TikTok is a big one for DJs. Like that really will find a different audience for you to engage with. So if you can get good at engaging on TikTok live, it's also a good experience like for DJing as well. Just like being in front of people, taking requests.
The pressure of I'm live. This is live. If I mess up a mix, can I shrug it off and just laugh it off? Like it's cool.
100%. Get into repurposing content as well. So like if you've made like say you filmed a long mix, you've recorded the whole thing, you know, you've got that's like an hour mix, you've got like 60 pieces of content there. Get used to posting one bit of content, seeing how it does, and then if it don't perform well, change like the title of it. Because if you think, actually, this I feel like they should have done better, it should have got more views. It might just be the timing that you posted it. It might be that it didn't have a good hook, and it might be that if you just change a few little bits on it, the caption or something like that, it will perform way better.
This is a big thing as well. Have a central location. Even if it's just an album in your phone that you have all of this content stored in, so that you can quickly and easily access it in the future. Because this is a big thing. You're going to be building a library of content. Now, this is from experience. Crossfader has made thousands and thousands and thousands of videos, and we continue to make more. And we need somewhere that we can pull the best videos. So there's some videos we know do well, and you know, admittedly, when we're focusing on making new like deep educational tutorials that go into our paid for products, we don't have the time to make, you know, forward facing organic content as much. So we go into that library and go, what is the stuff that worked really well a year ago? Let's repost it. Because if you think about all the new followers and the new algorithm changes that have happened within 365 days, so much has changed, so many new people, new eyes, potentials to see this video. So just you repost it, because the algorithm's forgotten about the last one that was posted a year ago. So when you repost it, it gets a lot of new traction, a lot of new engagement, and it means that you don't have to spend all that time making something new again. You can be focusing on maybe another pillar that you're working working on, or maybe the networking that you're working on now that you've built an audience. That you can buy yourself that time. So start now. If you're starting to build your content, create a library so it's easy to get it, because there's so many times I'm like, oh, what was that content? I'm going back through my camera roll trying to find it, and that just eats away at time.
Another couple like practical tips from me is, say, like a bit like repurposing. So let's say one of your reels or one of your reels has done really well, got like, I don't know, you've gone from 0 to doing like 5,000 views or 1,000 views. You can then like upload that with like as a green screen, and you talking about like why you think it went well, or I can't believe this clip's gone viral, or something like that, and that will re-engage that piece of content as well. You can also, while you're uploading, like, so let's say you get to day 30, that's another like personal like story arc of like, going to.
I made 30 days of content.
Here's
how it went.
I've just hit 500 followers. I've just hit 1,000 followers. Like that is, people like love to see that and will support you doing that. And don't like. 500 people is a lot of fucking people. Like, there's not many clubs that are left where we are that fit 500 people in. Like, so just remember.
And then think of ways to engage, and then new followers, challenge them. Like, yo, guys, challenge me to a transition, suggest some tunes, and then use that comment. Create that content that's off the back of those followers' new suggestions, and then you're involving the community, and then people see, oh, he's making mixes off the back of what people are suggesting. Let me suggest something. Then it creates more engagement, and you create this sort of wheel of engagement that only builds your following further. So
and then from day 60 onwards, you're literally in like a growth mode. Then, so what opportunities will start to present themselves to you, and it might happen sooner, might happen later, but as long as you stay with it, there's opportunities to collaborate with other DJs. So you can do collab posts where you might remix a song together. You might invite him over to where you DJ, and you can do a back-to-back or something like that. It might just be a post about each other's story or each other's journey, something like that, where you can do a collab post. Join DJ communities that are into what you're into. If you're into techno or tech house or something, find them like Discord groups and like engage and share other people's posts to your stories and your feeds and things like that, because collaboration is what is going to like take you like to a different level. There's also, we've also talked about like identifying like your best winning posts and changing them and repurposing them. And then what will happen is you'll start to either be presented by, or at least you'll be able to go out and find opportunities for like monetization, because essentially this is what we're leading up to. We're after building an audience. Once we've got an audience, what do? You have a point of leverage. That is what like brands and businesses want. They want an audience, somebody who's got leverage, who's got influence, and that's what you'll have. So you've grown to 5, 10K, 15K. That's a lot of people. Then what's going to happen is like brands are going to start reaching out to you, like your Loop earbuds, like your microphone companies, like Pioneer DJ, and they're going to want to. They want people to sponsor ads, and you can reach out to these platforms and start to like monetize. You can monetize through like Patreon or Mixcloud Pro, and start putting out exclusive mixes to your diehard fans. Because essentially it's like, what are you sort of doing this for? There's obviously gig opportunities, which is like the obvious one. But we're talking about building a brand as a DJ. We've had a lot of people on here, Annabelle, Zoe London, Joe LaBelle, who have created themselves opportunities outside of DJing whilst DJing. So this is what it's sort of all pushing towards. So it's if you look at it from that way, it's a really sort of exciting opportunity. If you're either starting and getting into it, and you're like, okay, well, basically I just want to learn how this thing works. Just know that there's so many opportunities out there when you learn how the thing works. Or like we mentioned, if you are a DJ who's got a few gigs regularly, but you're thinking about doing this, then there's a purpose and a reason out there which maybe wasn't there 15 years ago or something, which is making money online. There's streaming, there's monetization all over the place. And then what you can do is then I would expand into like long form content, because it's great, uploading reels and TikToks and stuff, but then just like we've done, is like the long form YouTube content is where then new discovery can happen, and you can like really lean in and find your niche audience of stuff, that people that you love. And the reason we didn't say that at the beginning is there's a bigger barrier to entry is trying to make a YouTube channel. It's not like not hard or difficult, but it's just a really long process that if you're not skilled at making content, is so much harder than it is to make a few reels every week.
I think the other thing to sort of mention at this stage as well is Twitch.
Yeah,
as like the DJ community on there is huge. So if you really enjoy the live streaming, if you were live streaming on TikTok, or you could introduce Twitch maybe a bit earlier if you just want to explore doing live sets for a long period. Treat it a bit like a radio show. You're kind of there to provide music for people who are sat gaming and chilling and just want to tune into it. They might stumble across you and just want some music to chill to. That's kind of where Twitch is at. And then you kind of tap into the DJ community there. And everything that we spoke about on this social media side can also be translated across to Twitch, supporting other creators and DJs on the Twitch, within the Twitch community, and just being active and engaging within that environment as well. Yeah.
I really want to be a DJ now, guys. Hope that helped you out anyway. And if you need any help any further, obviously, we sell DJ courses, provide DJ education. So just go to wearecrossfader.co.uk. We've got a load of courses relevant to controllers, relevant to software, relevant to genres. We've got a load of genre courses now, like house, techno, drum and bass, open format, hip-hop. Go and check them out. And then we've got our complete DJ package, which is really, like, this year has been taken up a lot. It's like a one-of-a-kind product on the market, which is all of our courses in one. I think it's 28 courses now. You get all of them in one package. You also get loads of bonus content that isn't on YouTube, isn't on the internet anywhere, that is like advanced tutorials set up. There's a whole social media like course within the complete package that isn't anywhere online. And you can go and check that out now, or you can go and check out any individual course, and you can use a code 20 off the record to get 20% off any individual DJ course, or go and check out the complete package and get them all. We had a chat about whether we do add to playlist now. I'm going to do it.
But if you've got some tunes,
but we've got the new channel now. But I guess we can sort of test out music for the channel.
Yeah, I think that's what it should be.
I think a little bit of a tester.
Is it going to make it onto office hours?
Good point.
You know what I mean?
Have we got music?
I can hear something.
Right.
I mean, this is a bit of me.
This is nice.
Garagey.
Yeah, this is nice.
Speed garagey vibe. Where are we at? 1, 3, 2.
This song is called "I Need a Boiler Room" by Sammy Porter.
All right.
Way to call out what you want.
Manifest it.
Oh,
Nice.
Naughty, innit?
Yeah.
very naughty. Yeah, I can imagine this popping off at Boiler Room. Well titled. Such a nod to the Speed Garage era. That would definitely go in my playlist. I would add that to playlist.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh. Ooh. There's a little. Like that. What about the second drop? Come on.
I want to rave now.
Just a Reese bass on anything.
That's going in it.
Definitely in the playlist.
Love that. That is "I Need a Boiler Room" by Sammy Porter.
Nice.
Oh no, sorry, it's a Sammy Porter remix. BLK, "I Need a Boiler Room," Sammy Porter remix.
Nice.
I love
it. It's BLK that.
It's
BLK
that wants it. Yeah. Sammy Porter surely should get a boiler room, all right. Right, next one.
I've just seen that's news. I've seen Boiler Room's been acquired.
Oh, was it?
It was a few years ago. By
Was
Dice.
it a few years ago?
Oh, by
no,
Dice.
no, it's been sold by Dice to
Oh.
one of the big. What's the big event company in the US? Like is it
Like a
Live
Ticketmaster.
Nation or something?
Oh, right.
Something
Oh,
like that.
right, okay.
So
Jesus.
I don't know if it is Live Nation.
Yeah,
by
but
the way,
one
but it's
of
one of
them.
those big event companies. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Dice are selling it.
The heads are going to be so mad out there. Like, it's not what it used to be.
They have to put a
man.
whole statement out being like, we're going to keep it authentic.
I think as soon as they did a Rebecca Black one, I feel like that was it for them.
Credibility went out.
Yeah. Let's go. I think this is more like disco-y. Let's have it.
Oh, what was the original of this?
Kind of disco. Kind of.
Oh, it's disco.
It's vibey right now. You've been digging, haven't you?
Oh, I've been
You've
digging.
been digging.
I've been digging.
bar vibes.
I didn't know it was this good, actually. I like this. Is good. I like this. Oh, yeah.
It's a groover.
It's a day festival.
Yeah, it's kind of like mid-level energy.
If I went to see, like, Barry Can't Swim or something, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'll get this.
Yeah.
So you like that one?
Yeah. I like it. It would go in my playlist. Not the same playlist necessarily.
Not the same.
Unless I was doing a 5-hour set.
Yeah. This is quite high on Beatport. I played this out and it seemed to go off pretty well, but this is a bit different. It's more minimalist.
Yeah.
This is Sub Soul. Oh, by the way, the last song was Debage, I Like It, Mike Holden edit.
I'm fully invested in this song already. I've just heard this a little bit.
It's very like minimal, but it's
I was
like.
going to say there's not much to it yet.
Yeah.
There's even less now.
Step by step.
My office hours I've just done is like this.
Is it?
Is it?
Step by step.
Ooh, little teaser.
Deep house, minimal vibes.
Step by step.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm ready for this.
I wasn't expecting that kind
Very
of organ.
minimal.
It almost becomes very melodic with that organ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it. It's different,
like,
actually.
It's quite hypnotic, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm still unsure. I'm a bit like, would I get bored of it quickly? Or
yeah. What's this? It's just like minimal, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, it's a certain type of house is this sort of stuff. Like,
oh, I like the break. Is it the same? See, I do like it when it just breaks down into that.
It's
I
nice.
can imagine like a smoky like mint warehouse.
Yeah.
Like 5 a.m. Just be like, yeah, let's go.
Step by step.
Say it again. Yeah, you know what? The more I listen to it, the more I listen to
Bit of
it.
cowbell.
The more I listen to it, I'm into that. That is Mar Solo, Step by Step. I think it's doing well on Beatport charts. Like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's me. Yeah.
I prefer the others.
Couple more.
I need to apologise. I've not brought any water.
Me neither.
I mean, I love the original
Same.
sample.
Was this in your mix, the original?
No,
Probably was.
I mean, it's been sampled so much and remixed so much, but there's just something about
I like the
I still
vocal.
love it.
I like the vocal. I'm a sucker for an R&B vocal. So this is like what my mix is like. It's like that not in your face house.
Yeah.
Stuff that I would just listen to in my car.
That would go in my playlist. Even though it's been done so much.
Yeah. I'm more towards that. So I'm ready for like a new load of vocals.
Do you know why I love it? I think because I was obsessed with a tune. Was it Blawan, Getting Down? Because I want to be down. I want to be down.
I want to be down. Yeah.
So that's the original, but
Yeah.
Blawan, Blawan,
Yeah.
I think it's called Getting Down or something.
Something like that.
It's like must be 12, 14 years old.
I mean, it's like really dark
and it
stuff,
had this like mad drum sort of pattern in it, and it was just And ever since that, like I've just been obsessed with that vocal sample.
I didn't say what that was.
It's called Getting Me Down. The one I'm talking about. What was that called?
Oh, I don't know.
We've lost it.
I've given you the total wrong track ID.
It was Abstract and Logic Could Be Wrong. Extended mix. I've saved the best to last. This is like probably the biggest song I've played in the last couple of weeks. And it is very similar to that Sammy Porter one.
Okay. Speed Garage. It's that rave generator again.
It's come full circle. Like where I play it now is like a student event, and as soon as I hear it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Classic.
The hard thing is like how much can music be recycled now?
Oh, forever.
It's just
Forever.
mad.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I've enjoyed playing this out.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
This is a bit me, obviously. Like,
I wonder if our American audience will like this. if you're American watching this, let me know if you like this sound or not.
Yeah.
Like this vibe.
What do you think?
This is like
You might just think it sounds so lo-fi.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
like beat.
Or maybe it's like this is
producer.
like we've never heard this before.
This sort of sound is like staple in the UK though.
Yeah, this is like our UK speed garage culture. Yeah, that is Turn Me Out Beeve remix, Beave remix.
I love that. That's going in my playlist.
Yeah,
there's some good tunes in there.
I like that.
And you can hear
selection. Are any of them in your office hours?
I think I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, if they're not, then they should go in the next one.
Right. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I think
Potentially
I think my
90%
next
of them anyway.
My next one will be like this kind of vibe.
Ravey, garagey, ravey stuff.
And then I just need to do an old school R&B hip hop one. Like maybe just full hip hop like Biggie and stuff.
So I think I'm gonna just keep leaning into like more obscurity. I might go like
Staying on, like, the R&B
electronic.
stuff.
I might go like my vibes with Jamie XX and that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
I might lean into that for my next one.
Yeah.
And I might keep providing the maybe the less clubby vibe.
Less clubby, just
You've
more
got
like
that
chill,
down, the
more like
clubby
chill,
vibe.
chill in your house, cleaning up.
I fancy
Yeah.
an old school garage one.
Yeah.
Like really old school garage, like darker stuff.
We
like,
should just set up the turntables because you got vinyl there, aren't you?
Yeah.
And we
I've
should,
got-
we should just do like a blind.
I could do a grime.
We
old
should do
school
like a
grime
yeah.
instrumentals.
We should just do like a blind mix.
just pulling
whatever.
a random one out.
we should
that's
do
gonna
yeah.
be
So
a challenge.
someone stands there and just hands the
Hands
vinyl
the
over.
vinyl over.
That would be
Like-
good for like a live stream. James has started doing live streams again. Only James Hype, and
Yeah.
he's got a little spin wheel behind him.
That's a
That's a
like,
good idea.
It says like unreleased or drum and bass or garage and stuff. And I'm like, that is such a good idea, but you need the interaction, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
So go and check out new channel Office Hours. My mix should be out now. Jamie's is out last week. Danny's will be out
Next
the week
week.
after.
Yeah.
And then next week we should have a guest. We're speaking to Mixcloud. It's supposed to be this one this week, but it probably should be next week now. We're speaking to the CEO of Mixcloud again, a bit more about how to brand yourself as a DJ, how to get noticed. And Mixcloud's not just like mixes anymore. It's like a social hub that is leaning into this like creator DJ, which is like we'll talk about it more and more this year. But yeah, thanks so much for listening. Check out wearecrossfader.co.uk. You can use the code 20 off the record if you want 20% off any individual course, or check out the complete DJ package. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Danny, press the button. Cheers.